It was great speaking with you today, and I hope your arm heals up quickly. Take care.
All right, that's the call, and it's still not in here. That's crazy. Oh, it is in here. It populated. Let's go. It populated. Okay, so it all worked. All right, jumping right into it. I'm back again with another Claude Code video. I've been using it for a lot of things recently, and I've just noticed it's been doing almost everything that I've wanted to without really any restrictions at all. I'm not even sure there's a reason to use N8N anymore. And what I want to learn now is how to do voice agents because I've been seeing some demand for that, and I want to be comfortable supplying a voice agent through Claude Code or even just knowing how the interface works so I can build it in N8N if somebody would want that. I don't know how to do this. I'm just doing it straight from scratch. You're going to follow along with me and learn as I do. So let's get right into it. As we know, the typical first step of Claude Code is to add a claude.md file. I have one here copied. I don't have my own personal one yet. This is one that I've taken from Nate Herc's free AI community. You can find it in his community at school.com. I guess one of my next steps is understanding what the claude.md file, how it actually works, and maybe building my own custom one or even customizing it from build to build. And when that happens, I will keep it in my YouTube description so you guys have access to that. But for now, that's the first step. We grab one of those from some sort of community online or just some sort of forum thread online. They're typically okay. The whole point is for it to read these instructions every single time it's going through your code instead of you having to give it instructions. It's almost like a big system prompt, essentially. So I'm going to try and type here. It's not really letting me, though. Can I? Interesting. It's not. There we go. So I'm going to use WhisperFlow now to just tell it to add this to our directory, and that'll be step number one. Hey there, Claude. So the above is your claude.md file. Please add it to this directory, and then after that, we'll begin on our project. That's step number one. Let's see what it does. And the kind of voice agent I want to make is going to be with Retell AI, which I did some research. The two main ones are Retell and Vappy. Vappy apparently is more customizable, but Retell is more straight, easy out of the box. And as I'm learning this, I just want to go with the easy out of the box one so I can just supply it as easily as possible to potential clients. The kind of voice agent I want to make is a intake agent for law firms. Instead of having to take calls and field questions from there, they can just have this voice AI agent set up with all these questions for law firms, and then the agent can take the answers from the client on the phone, give them to coordinators or paralegals, and they can see if there's a good fit. And if there's a good fit, then you have step one passed there through an AI agent. So that's the goal for today. And I'm just going to say all of that to Claude Code and see how well it can do things. All right, Claude. So today my goal is to make a voice AI agent. I haven't worked with these before, so you're going to have to guide me quite a bit along the way. I've decided I want to use Retell as the main voice agent platform. And the specific use case is as an intake call system for law firms. Essentially, it's going to be a system where new clients contact the law firm, and the AI voice agent is the first person they contact or the first point of contact for them. This voice agent should be taking a series of questions to understand the client's needs and if they'd be a good fit for the specific firm that they're calling. And just anything else in general that might be needed for a law firm intake voice agent, because I don't work in a law firm. I haven't really looked into it too much, but I'm interested in that use case example. So that's basically it. Like I said, I've never worked with voice AI agents before, so please guide me throughout the way step by step. And that's it. I'm going to click enter, and we're literally just going to follow along and see what's possible. As usual, that's kind of what I've been doing here. Seeing what's possible and always being surprised at what can be done. So let's take a look. I'm going to drink some tea while I wait. Also, I'm not sure if you guys saw the new Claude update. It's pretty cute, actually. They give you your own sort of buddy, like Pokemon or something, Pokemon or Tamagotchi, and you can do it in your terminal. I got this mushroom. If you do /buddy, you have to have Claude Code installed. So install it on your terminal, then open it with Claude and do /buddy, and it'll hatch one for you. I already have one. It's an uncommon mushroom. And these stats, apparently, debugging, patience, chaos, wisdom, snark, are all pretty accurate to your actual coding habits. Debugging is how often you actually try to fix bugs, I guess. Patience is how patient you are. I'm not sure how they measure that. I think I'm generally very patient, so that makes sense to me. Chaos is how chaotic your instructions can be, which I'm half the time about chaotic, so that makes sense. Then there's wisdom, which is, I guess, your knowledge of the database system, and I'm not a developer, so that makes sense. And I think snark is sort of the pizzazz in your personality. I really don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I'm kind of a chill, laid-back dude, so my personality is pretty relaxed. I guess that's what it means, and that's why I have a lower score. Just wanted to show you guys that. And then if you code in the terminal, which maybe I'll do that in another video, just to see how nice it is, if it's nice at all, then we'll see my buddy on the side. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to close that out because I think Claude got back to us here. So it says we're building a phone-based voice AI agent that answers incoming calls to a law firm, conducts a structured intake interview, name, contact info, type of legal issue, and case details, qualifies whether the firm can help, collects all info and saves it somewhere accessible like Google Sheets, handles edge cases gracefully, urgent emergency situations, cases outside the firm's practice areas. Makes sense. I summarized it better than I could, which is great. The tech stack. We're going to use Retell, which is what I told it to do. Handles telephony, STT, TTS, speech to text, and text to speech, I think that's what it means. We just build the brain. The large language model, Claude, of course, is Claude Code. It's going to choose itself, and that's fine. I quite like Claude recently. For the server, we're going to build a python.fast plus fast API with a custom LLM endpoint Retell talks to. Makes sense. And for storage, we're just going to pump everything into Google Sheets. That makes total sense to me. I think that's totally fine. So how Retell works, it tells us here, it sits between the phone network and your AI. When somebody calls, Retell answers the call and converts speech to text. It sends that text to your server through a webhook. Your server runs it through Claude and sends back a response. And then Retell converts that response to speech and speaks it to the caller. So we control the brain and Retell handles everything else, which is amazing. All this, again, I have no experience building voice AI agents, and it's already given us a whole structured sheet here, which looks pretty simple, actually. So a couple questions, and I'm going to answer these. I don't have a Retell account. I'm just going to talk to it here. Okay, for question number 1, no, I don't have a Retell account. Question number 2, I do have an Anthropic API key, and I'll probably just make a new one for you for this project. That's fine. Python is installed, and I don't even know what a basic fast API server is. So that's fine, I think. And for specific practice, I'm going to say no. This is a general firm. I'm just using this as a demo to learn. And of course, you can give it your own custom intake questions. If you're working with a client, you can have them supply intake questions for you. And all this could be sort of customized to your needs. So let's click enter and let it continue for us while I drink some more tea. Okay, so it's telling us Fast API is a Python library that lets you create a web server that other services like Retell can send messages to and receive responses from. So we're going to create our Retell account. We're going to set up the project structure with the claude.md file, WAT. I think that's workflows, agents, and tools in this case. That's Nate Herc's way of doing it. We're going to build the actual workflow, build the API server, connect it all in Retell, and test it, and then add phone number and whatnot, which maybe I will do depending on how this video goes. I guess that'd be the best way to actually test a voice agent, is with a phone system. So hopefully we can get to that today. Okay, so we're going to go and create our Retell account. So we're going to do that together here. Okay, so I'm on Retell's website now, and I'm just going to try and build an account from scratch and put in my email, of course. And I haven't signed up yet, so I guess I need to do that here. We'll click continue, and they sent us a code, so I'm gonna go grab that from my email. All right, I got my code. Gonna click continue here. I did 2 codes, so maybe that's why it didn't work out. Let's try this one. And there we go. I'm gonna set up my password real quick, and I'll catch you guys on the next page. Okay, so after you make your password, it's also gonna ask you for your phone number. I just put mine in and gave it a code. And we're in. It's just this little news page. I'm gonna skip this. How do I plan to use it? Right now, I'm just kind of testing out things. How many Ender agents we actually have? I don't actually have any. How do you want to implement the solution? Self-setup with my developers. I'm going to do it myself. It's interesting that they can do it for you. And how did I hear about it? I guess just general AI voice agent news. And that's it. Now we're in here, and I have no idea what to do. So I'm going to go back to Claude and see what it said to do. All right, so it says you sign up here, find your API key in the dashboard, usually under settings or API keys. So I'm going to go and find that. Clicking the wrong buttons here. If I look on the left, I'm not seeing it. There's a settings here. There's API keys. So I'm actually not going to go in there in case the API key is already built. Typically, it's pretty straightforward with API keys. If it's already there, then it's there. If not, then you just click create key or something like that. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to do this here myself. So it was just there. I'm going to paste it here. Again, I'm not going to paste it for you guys to see. So again, just paste it here, and that's our next step. All right, so if you set up your claude.md file correctly, it should have put your API key in a .env file, which essentially is a way to hide your API keys in code if you're going to upload it to GitHub or something like that. Very important that you have that. So their next question for me is to fill in my Anthropic API key and then install dependencies. Claude Code can install dependencies for you. So I'm just going to tell it to please install those dependencies for me in step number 2. I'll paste my API key from Anthropic for you below. And then I'll go and fetch my API key from Anthropic's developer platform. It's a very similar setup. You just find the API section and get your key from there. And I'll meet you after that. All right, so I added my API key and then hit it by just telling it to add more text. So I don't even know what's next. I'm just gonna ask it, all right, what's next for us? And then we'll see what it says here. So it's going to be the intake workflow, which is the conversation script that powers Claude's behavior on every call. And Claude is going to be speaking through Retell AI. Retell is sort of the platform in between the caller and Claude, from my understanding here. So it's going to be writing us a intake workflow for just a basic, general, non-specialized law firm, which I don't think those really exist. Almost every law firm has a specialty. We'll see what they say. We're going to wait around for Claude to do this. And again, if you're working with a real client, most likely they're going to supply you with their own specific questions. Even if it's not a law firm, it might be a lot of service, like automotive services have AI call agents now. They'll tell you what kind of questions they want, or you just kind of ask them. Okay, so it says lawfirm.intakemd has been written. I wonder where they put it. It's not in temporary. It's not in tools, it's in workflow. So we're going to open this up. And this is basically a prompt, it looks like, for Claude that's going to be speaking as the voice agent. You are Aria. They gave it a name, a virtual intake specialist for Harmon and Associates law firm, which is a fake law firm, obviously. I mean, there might be an actual one that's named this in real life, but the truth is it's AI generated. So it's going to require information. It's going to get the caller's name, phone number, email address, legal issue, brief description, how urgent, and whether they've spoken to any other attorneys. And there's many other practice areas it gave it. So you can see here it kind of gave it a really big description and very specific actions here. Cool. I think that's fine for just this demo. Never give legal advice, never quote fees. This looks good. Let's work with this. A few things you might want to customize. I actually quite like this, so I'm going to tell it. Actually, I quite like what you've built here. It's a lot more specific than I was even expecting, so well done. Yeah, let's continue to the next step. And let's see what it does for us. All right, so looking at this next step, it looks like we're going to build the server next, and I think that was with Python and Fast API. And that's the code that connects Retell to Claude, so I'm quite interested to see how that would work. It said it's already built. All right, so it loads our API keys into the intake workflow. It exposes a LLM endpoint that Retell calls after every utterance. It converts the conversation history from Retell's format to Anthropic's format. which allows Claude to understand, I suppose, and then it streams Claude's response back chunk by chunk so Retell can speak it in real time. Now we need to run this server and expose it to the internet so Retell can reach it. For that, we use a tool called ngrok. And again, for these things where it just runs terminal commands, it can totally ask it. One question I actually have for Claude is, because it's a voice agent system where it's speaking to a customer, it needs to be real time, like it says here. Sonnet is a bit slow. So I'm curious if it knows to use Haiku. I think that's the faster one. I'm going to ask it that question and have it install this. So for every terminal-based command, you have access to the terminal. You can just go ahead and install those and check if they're installed, everything like that. I had one question for you. Because these conversations need to be in real time, I'm guessing this requires a specific model from Claude. So what kind of Claude model are you actually using for this project? Let's see what it says. All right, I just went to get some water and it finished its task. One thing I just love about Claude, unlike N8N, you don't need to really have much manual input at all. You just manage it, which is just amazing. Looks like it's choosing Sonnet 4.6, which is interesting. I wonder why. What matters first is time to first token, how quickly the model starts streaming the first word back. So it's fast enough to feel natural and smart enough to handle unpredictable conversations. Haiku would feel snappier, but might fumble nuanced situations. Okay, I'm curious how that would work when I test it out. So it's installed. I have to actually go to ngrok and get a free account to get an auth token. All right, so let's do that together. I have no idea what ngrok even is. I guess we're going to find out and then get the auth token. Same thing. It's like an API key, I'm guessing, so we don't want to share that here. But I will show the process of getting it. Okay, so this is their website. It's an all-in-one cloud platform that secures, transforms, and routes your traffic to services. I guess that's needed for... I don't know what this is for. I actually want to understand what it's for. Hey, so what is ngrok for? I'm just curious. I'm going to give you the auth token, but I just kind of want to know what it's about. And you can ask questions like these to Claude as you're building things. It'll give you an answer, which is really cool. Okay, so as we can see here, I have a local setup of this bot, this system, the database. ngrok creates a tunnel and gives it a public URL. And then we can connect my laptop to the public, I guess, it's a forwarding address, temporary. I see what they're saying, and we'll see if we'll even need this when we have a phone number for this system. So anyway, I'm going to sign up here. And I'm going to sign up with my email, and again, just put in your email info and password. I'm going to generate one now. So again, I'm going to cut the video here, and you do the same. Okay, so I'm running into a bit of an issue here. They prompted me to set up multi-factor authentication, and I had two of these tabs open because I opened one through my email and already had the other one existing. And I deleted one, so I'm guessing I got the wrong QR code or something because they were two different QR codes, and I was confused, and now I'm trying to mess around with it, and I logged myself out, which absolutely sucks. We're going to take a look at this error, and yeah, I wish it would tell me how long I need to wait. These could be from anywhere from 10 minutes to 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or hours. I have no idea. So I'm actually going to ask Claude about this. Hey, so I ran into an error when setting up my multi-factor authentication with ngrok and ended up locking myself out of my account. I think the error is like too many login attempts, 1227 or something like that. I can get you the actual image attached here so you know what it is. That's fine, but I don't know how long this is going to last. If it's too long, I just want to find another solution. So I'm going to attach this image of the error and let me know how long I need to wait. And you run into issues like these, it's totally normal. I think sometimes when we watch these videos, we think the person doing them is just an expert, when in reality, they also run into these issues from time to time. So let's just go ahead and see what it tells us. If it's 5 minutes, I'll wait, but I'm making a video, so I don't want to wait that long. Typically 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, so it's telling us there's a good alternative, which I'm going to do that for. I've just learned two different platforms, which is amazing. it's going to use Cloudflare Tunnel instead, which I've heard about Cloudflare, so that's totally fine. And there's no account needed, so it's even better. Wow, that works great. All right, so yeah, I guess we start it up. Yeah, start it up and let me know what to do. If you could start the Cloudflare tunnel yourself in another terminal and the API server, just do everything yourself. Do whatever's needed. Okay, and we'll see what it does. This might be it. It might be done, which is just insane-o. Really insane how amazing Claude Code is. It even gave us a solution to a problem that I was willing to wait for 5 to 15 minutes or however long it said. Wow. It just gave me a whole bunch of info here. Both are running. It has them both on my local host. Well, the fast API is on the local host. The public URL through Cloudflare is this fascinating Titan, importantly snake. It's just a random URL that no one else is going to have, essentially. It wants us to go to our Retell dashboard, go to LLMs, create LLM, and choose custom LLM, and then paste in this URL here. So I'm guessing within the dashboard itself, we might be able to make a custom Retell agent anyway. I'll have to look into that, but whatever, it's fine. I'm happy to learn Claude Code integrating with Retell. Save it, then go to agents, create account, create agent, attach the LLM you just created. Come back here and let me know when the agent is created. Then we'll do a test call. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna go to my Retell dashboard and meet you guys there, basically. Okay, so Claude is telling us to go to where the LLM section is, which I'm not sure where that is. I'm really not seeing any sort of LLM section that it's referring to. I wonder what it's talking about because I'm not seeing it. So I'm actually gonna screenshot this page here and just tell it I don't see what you're referring to, and we'll see what it says. Okay, so I'm on my Retell dashboard and I'm not seeing the LLM section. And then it just gives me a response. Okay, so we actually have to create an agent instead in the top right and look for an option called custom LLM or your own LLM in the setup instructions. So let's make sure to copy this again. Then I will go back. I'm going to make a new agent, a voice agent, and I want to choose a custom LLM, and we're going to create it. Okay, and then we replace it with our LLM link, which is from Cloudflare, I'm pretty sure. And it looks like Claude didn't really give us the next instructions. So I'm really just going to screenshot this page and show it, essentially what's happening here. All right, so I was able to make a custom LLM and just posted the link where you told me to. One question I had was, why are we doing custom? We can still go through with it now that we're here. I don't want to just go back. But there were other options there to, I guess you can make one within Retell. Would that have been simpler? And you can ask it these questions and test it, because it's not always going to be perfect. It might give you a hard path for pretty much no reason, just because it assumes you want to build with Claude Code, when in reality you just want the best solution for your use case. It looks like the custom one is just more overall customization, which makes sense if you're going to work with clients, but it might be worth learning the built-in LLM as well. This time around, we're doing the custom one, which is totally fine. So let's see here. We can add data saving, CRM integration, custom logic later. So I guess in our case, and in most cases, it might be best to actually do it like we're doing it now, but I might play around with the actual dashboard later on my own. All right, so we're ready to test right now. See the test button on the bottom right of your screen, I guess on the dashboard, click it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and do that now. Here's a test button. And it'll ask me to use my microphones and we'll allow it. Hey, how are you? Okay, let's try it again. We don't want this, no thanks. There we go. Hey there, how are you? Hello? Mr. Agent? So nothing's really happening here. I'm going to click test agent again and then just screenshot this page and say that nothing happens when I click test. So let's see. So I keep clicking test and trying to speak, but there's no response, and eventually it just closes the prompt and says test agent again. So let's see what it's saying for us here. Looks like it determined two main problems here, which are technical and not too important for us to understand. But just to go through them right here, Retell uses WebSocket, not HTTP post, which is what's necessary. Or I guess WebSocket is what's necessary, and we were trying to use HTTP post. So that didn't work, and the library for WebSocket is missing. So it just did all these things. It installed WebSocket. It tells you every step again, which is amazing. Rewrote to the server, and then restarted the server. So it should be working now with WebSocket support. Let's give it a go. Hey, how are you?
Thank you for calling Harmon and Associates. My name is Aria. I'm a virtual intake specialist here. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I'm here to help get you connected with the right attorney for your situation. I'll just ask you a few quick questions to make sure we point you in the right direction. Does that sound okay?
So as you can see, it works. I'm not sure if you guys can pick that up, the audio, because in this case, I had it pumping through my laptop. Maybe you could hear that. It may have sounded poorly, but honestly, it sounded good for me. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Seems to be working. I guess what we want to do next is test it out. Ideally, if we can add a phone to it and then get the Google Sheets integration going so we can actually see the responses show up on a Google Sheet. Okay, so it looks like it's working now, which is really cool. I want to try two things for this demo. One is, how easy would it be to set up a phone number that we can call this agent to? And then, like you mentioned, storing the data in a Google Sheet would be the next logical equation here. So those are the two things I want to try and do. And we're just going to see if we can do it. And maybe this video will be an hour longer, or maybe it'll be 5 minutes longer than it would have otherwise been if we stopped here. In the meantime, while it's doing this, I'm curious if we can customize it somehow. Speech settings, for example. Pronunciation, that's the specifics here. Interesting. So I'm just playing around here. You can do this as well. You might as well. Since Claude is doing its thing in the background, you can kind of play around and understand what kind of stuff you can customize. Looking in here, post data call, security, webhook. It looks like if we want to actually customize the agent, I guess this is the voice. Oh, very cool. So the voices are here and we can listen to them. Or maybe not.
This is your AI assistant from Retell.
Interesting. And there's a decent amount. And we can add a voice clone of our own. I'm curious how we would do that. They have American voices, Mexican voices, I guess for Spanish speakers, British accent. Interesting. So quite a lot of customization here, which is cool. And I can add a voice clone here and upload an audio clip. Wow. So there's quite a lot of customization you can do here. Very interesting. Going back to Claude, and it took care of this for us. So it said that both are very easy. The phone number is a dashboard task. I can buy a number directly in Retell. So we can buy one, which I'm not sure I'm going to do that for this video, but just as a possibility, you know that it's here. Google Sheets, some code. When a call ends, Retell fires a webhook to your server with a full transcript. And this and that and that. So I'm curious how much it'll cost. So how much will the phone number cost? I guess I can go into the dashboard myself and check. I'm also curious if there's any recurring costs. And then we can do the step 2. I'm probably not going to go ahead and buy a phone number. But if you wanted to, that's what you would do. You would charge your client for that, of course. It's a phone number. It's $2 a month recurring, and extra call time, I guess, is included with that. There's free trial credit. So I'm not going to, $2 is not a lot, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to trust that it can work, and if you wanted to configure it to work, then it can. So I'm going to have it continue with the step 2. Okay, I'm just going to continue with step 2 for now, the Google Sheet setup. I would like to do that. Would that be possible if I just speak to the agent in the dashboard? So we'll see if it can even work without the phone number. It says yes. So in that case, it should be working. Okay, so it says the only manual step is setting up a Google Cloud Service account. So we have to go to console.cloud.google.com, create a new project, and then let them know when we're there. So let's do that. Okay, we're in Google Console Cloud. I'm gonna have to switch my email real quick. Okay, I've logged in, I agree, and we're here. So what's the next step? I don't see anything for new projects here. Maybe if I go to select a project, it won't. Oh, there we go. And there's new project. Some things you can just figure out on your own. You don't need to ask Claude everything, right? And I want to know, do I want to make a new project just for this retail voice agent, or what's the optimal strategy is here? So I'm going to ask it that. So what's optimal? Should I make a new project just for this voice agent, or just keep one for my account that you can use from project to project? We'll see what it says. So keep one dedicated cloud project. That way we can manage one set of credentials, one service account. Okay, that's what I figured. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna make this, what's this about? Parent resource. I guess that might be a parent project, but we don't have one yet. So I'm just gonna click create, and it's in the process of creating. So we'll see what's next. I'm gonna screenshot this page and share it with Claude. Okay, looks like the project is in the process of being created. What is next? And let's see what it says. So once the project is done, we need to enable the Google Sheets API. We then need to create a service account, download the credentials JSON, and then create the Google Sheet in my actual Google Drive and share it with the service account. So I'm back here. It's been completed. We're going to click select project. And this is a lot of info. It can be quite scary, to look at all this stuff. So I'm just going to, again, if you're overwhelmed, just give a screenshot and send it back to Claude. All right, I opened the project, and this is what I got. All right, so we go to APIs and services, click plus enable API and services, and then search for Google Sheets and enable it. So again, here we are, enabled APIs and services. We want to enable APIs and services, and then just find Google Sheets API, and then click enable. We're waiting for that to happen. Looks like it's been enabled. So what's the next step? All right, I believe it's been enabled. What's the next step? I believe it's going to be to create the service account as it told us here. So we have to go to the left sidebar, back again to APIs and services for credentials, then create credentials at the top, choose a service account, give it a name like voice agent and click create and continue, and then skip the optional role and access steps. I'm curious if we want to make a service account for each separate project though. So I'm going to ask it about that before making it. Do we need to make a new service account for each project? Is that advisable? Because I guess my idea is, do I need to set this up every time I want to do a Google connection with you? And again, we're just going to see what it says. Okay, so it says create one service account. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to call it Varen AI, because that is my company. So I totally forget where I wanted us to go. It said enable APIs and services. No, it said create credentials. Go to credentials, create credentials, service account. So credentials here, and then create credentials, and it's going to be a service account. And I'm just going to call it Varen AI. Create and continue. I believe it's set to skip this, and then skip this. And there we go. We have it all set up. Gonna screenshot this and give it back to Claude. All right, got that taken care of. What's the next step? It may have told us here. Actually, no, I don't think so. I think we're doing fine. Good stuff. So we need to save that to share the Google Sheet later. I'm just going to copy it here. And I have this service on my Mac where it saves like 40 copied items here. So I'm just going to keep that there. I'm not going to show you in case there's an API key, which I already showed it, but I don't think there's going to be one there. Now we need to download the credentials key. This is going to be, I believe, another one of those private things. So I'm just going to go to the keys tab. And when I make a new key, I'm just going to hide that. And you guys can do the same for you. So we click on this. We go to the keys tab. We click add key, create a new key. And we're going to use JSON. I see. So service account key creation is disabled. An organization policy that blocks service account key creation has been enforced on your organization. If you're doing a private account, I'm guessing this won't be an issue. But in my case, I'm using an organization account. So I'm actually going to just screenshot this and ask Claude about it. All right, Claude, I'm running into this issue, wondering if you can help me navigate this. Okay, so it looks pretty easy actually. So we have to close the dialog, go to organization policies, search for disable service account key creation, click on it, click manage policy. Under policy source, select override parents policy, set it to off. So we'll try that. Left sidebar, we go to organizations policies, cancel that. Then we're going to search for disable account key, pump it in through here. There it is. So we're going to go through here, click view policy. I can't manage policy. Interesting. The legacy constraint is active. We recommend migrating to this. Okay, another difficulty here. It won't let me manage the policy. Instead, it's giving me this error, and I can't even read the text. Okay, so it said the policy is locked at the organization level, and I don't have permission to change it. I'm the organization admin, but it's giving us another option to use OAuth 2 instead, which is just easier. So let's just go ahead and do that. We're going to go back to API services and credentials, create credentials, and we're going to choose OAuth client 2, and then we'll do some configuration. So let's just go ahead and do that now. Go back here, try and find the API section. There we go. APIs and services, credentials, create credentials, OAuth client ID. It says if it asks you to configure the consent screen, choose external, and then put in the app name. So let's just do that here. Get started. Varen AI. And the support email will just be my company email. The audience, they set external. And then, again, it's just going to be the same contact email here. And that's it. So we're going to create that. And there we go. Then we make the application, choose desktop app, name it anything, click create, and then download the JSON file and drop it into the project folder, which I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm still not sure what to do here. Create OAuth client, application type desktop. I guess that's what we do here. And again, I'm just going to call it Varen AI. Create. Okay, so once you create it, it's going to show you the key right on your screen. So I'm just going to cut that out. It'll give you the option to download the JSON. It says to download the JSON file and drop it into the project folder. I'm not sure which one it's talking about, but I have it. I'm just going to give it here for my computer. All right, I'm not sure which project folder you're referring to, but I have it here for you in case it's for this one. So please go ahead and add this for me. Okay, it looks like it added it into our project here, which might mean that that's what it meant. Now it's going to install the required libraries and create a one-time authentication script. I'm wondering how it's going to let us decide what Google Sheet to attach it to. So it's going to open a browser window. So it's going to ask us to trust. We'll click yes. Authentication flow is completed, so it can close the window. So that was a mid Claude doing stuff thing. And successful, and yes, yeah, it's already been successful. And we'll see what it does for us. Okay, so it requires us to have Google Drive authentication as well. It just prompted me to log in, and I'll do that here. And then it's been completed. We're gonna wait for Claude to recognize that. Yep, I did it. And we'll see what it does. And you could also just ask it to authenticate all your Google stuff in one go, just so in the future you don't have to worry about this, but it takes like 2 seconds. It's really not a big deal. So we need to enable the Google Drive API as well by going to the Google Cloud Console, Services, search for Google Drive API. So we're back here. I totally forget where to go. Is it here? Is it here? Enable APIs and services. That's right. Google Drive. Oh, click enable. Then we just find it, and it's right there. Easy. Enabled, baby. Last update 2023. Oh my goodness. All right, it's been created. Now, as for the sheet creation, I want you to create it in a specific folder. Would that be possible? Because I want it to be organized. I don't want to just have a random sheet in my drive. Okay, so I'm going to tell it what folder to add it to in my drive. I'm looking at my Google Drive here, and it made it. Really cool. So we're going to work with that shortly. Okay, so I gave us a new webhook URL to put into Retell, I guess because it configured the server again. So let's just do that real quick. Back here, pasting that there. Webhook, interesting. And then do a test call. So we're going to just give it a test right now, I guess. Anyways, this is the sheet that it generated. So I'm going to go ahead and do this test call right now with you guys here. Hey, how are you? Hello? So same issue as before. When I'm speaking to it, it's not doing anything. Hopefully this is a quick fix. Just like before, it just fixed some little dependencies. A couple issues here. There's a webhook URL. Oh, so we changed the wrong URL. I see. So let's just do that. This main one is the LLM URL, and the webhook settings has a webhook URL, which is this one. Okay, we're going to test that out. It worked. Now let's just try speaking to it. Hello there. How are you? It's working. Hello, how are you?
Thank you for calling Harmon and Associates. My name is Arya, and I'm a virtual intake specialist here. I'm doing well, thank you so much for asking. I'm here to help get you connected with the right attorney for your situation. I'll just ask you a few quick questions to make sure we point you in the right direction. Does that sound okay?
Yes, ma'am. All right, so I'm going to end the call there. And despite all that, oh my goodness, nothing was popped in here. That's crazy. Okay, so I just had a really, really long call with this agent, and nothing was populated into the Google Sheet, even though it asked me for all the questions. So I'm not going to show that whole conversation because, yeah, that would be a pain to watch and not have anything. So let's see the logs here and see what happened. Maybe it takes a while for it to populate. No, it's not even here. All right, it's coming back as unknown. The JSON response failed to parse. Let's see what actually happens here and if it fixes on my next go. All right, it says it's been fixed, so let's give it another go. Hey there.
Thank you for calling Harmon and Associates. My name is Arya. I'm a virtual intake specialist here. I'm going to ask you a few quick questions so we can connect you with the right attorney. Does that sound okay?
Yes, that sounds good to me.
Wonderful. I'm glad you reached out to us today. To get started, could I get your full name?
Yes, my name is Tony Stark.
It's great to meet you, Tony. So, Tony, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on and how we might be able to help you today?
Yeah, so I just saved the world from a evil robot named Ultron, and then my friend Steve Rogers got really mad at me, and we got into a fight, and my arm broke because he's a superhuman, basically. So yeah, that's what happened. And this is we're work colleagues, so
Oh, wow, Tony, that sounds like quite an ordeal, and I'm sorry to hear you got hurt. That must have been a really difficult situation, especially involving someone you work with. So, just to make sure I understand, you were injured by a coworker, and this happened in a work related context. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying that, Tony. So, this could potentially fall under a couple of different areas. It sounds like it might involve a personal injury situation and possibly an employment related matter as well. We do handle both of those here at Harmon and Associates, so you've definitely come to the right place. I do want to ask just one more follow-up question. Did this incident happen at your workplace or somewhere else?
Well, I guess we don't really have a workplace because we save the universe and stuff, mainly in the city. But I don't know if that answered your question. We were on after the job was completed, basically, but still like on work duty.
That does help, Tony. Thank you. So it sounds like the altercation happened while you were both still in a work related capacity, even if it wasn't at a traditional office setting. That's helpful context. I want to be straightforward with you. The details of your situation are a little unique. And honestly, the best thing I can do is make sure one of our attorneys gets a chance to hear the full story and advise you properly. They'll be much better equipped to look at the specifics and figure out the best path forward for you. So let's get your contact information so we can have someone follow up with you. What's the best phone number to reach you at, Tony?
All right, it's 000111222, and try to keep it snappy. I gotta go soon, so just take my info and store it. You know, don't repeat it.
Perfect. Got it, Tony. And your best email address?
Tony.stark@marvel.com.
Great. Thank you. Just a couple of quick questions before I let you go. How urgently do you need assistance with this? And have you spoken with any other attorneys about this matter yet?
Not super urgent. We spoke to Loki Associates, but they were tricksters, so we're not working with them.
Understood. Tony, I'll make note of both of those things. All right, I think I have everything I need. Just to quickly summarize: name, Tony Stark.
Don't worry about
Phone,
it. I gotta go, so just say that information, and we'll continue on.
of course, Tony. Someone from our team will be in touch within one business day to discuss your situation in more detail. It was great speaking with you today, and I hope your arm heals up quickly. Take care.
All right, that's the call, and it's still not in here. That's crazy. Oh, it is in here. It populated. Let's go. It populated. Okay, so it all worked. Gave us a date, which is that Tony Stark was the caller, the right phone number, TonyStark@marvel.com. The legal issue was personal injury and employment. Caller was injured by a coworker named Steve Rogers following a work-related altercation after completing a job, and urgency is low. Prior attorney, yes. Doesn't say that we used Loki Associates, but whatever. And the call ID is like a specific classifier, I guess. So it worked. That's basically it. On the call, there were a couple issues. She was a bit slow to respond. She repeated stuff too much. There were too many questions. I guess that's normal for a legal case, but all these things you can configure, I guess, later. It's not important for the point of this demo. We got Retell AI set up with Claude Code, build scripts, and whatever was needed. Added the law firm intake form, which can be changed and customized. And we made a Google Sheet which summarizes all the info from the call. Amazing. That's it. That's it for this video. As you can see, it's possible and not even that hard. An hour and a half for a voice agent. That's pretty darn good. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Please, I see a lot of new people viewing that aren't subscribers. Go ahead and subscribe and give this video a like. It really helps. If you want to work with me, see the description below for my website. You can schedule a meeting with me and we can discuss your needs. Yeah, that's about it. Peace out.